أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعني وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم. أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المؤمنين استغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح يا فتاح يا فتاح. صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم الأمين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, it's a great blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has given me and you the ability and tawfiq to participate in this gathering, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this gathering a source of guidance for all of us, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this gathering one of the means of our entry to Jannah. Inshallah, tonight, verse number 185 of Surah Al-Baqarah. It's a very long verse, so I will take only one bit of one piece of this long and beautiful ayah of the month of Ramadan. By the way, this is the only ayah about the month of Ramadan that is mentioned in the Quran. It's a very long ayah, and I have talked about it extensively, about the whole ayah on different occasions, but because our tafseer session normally is 10 to 15 minutes long, so inshallah I will only highlight one thing about this ayah of the month of Ramadan. And towards the end of this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains that why did He give us the month of Ramadan. And He explains that why did He give us these 30 days and what should be some of our goals and objectives. So Allah says, وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةِ. The first thing that He says that we should complete our count. When we are focusing on the month of Ramadan, when we are fasting in the month of Ramadan, our main goal and our first goal should be completing the count. وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةِ. Completing the count, it means this is something that is very, very important. It has something to do with our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a slave, as our spiritual development. These 30 days should be our target. It's a very important target. The month of Ramadan is a program. And in order to complete that program successfully, you have to complete the count. And the count is 30 days. So you should take every single day very, very seriously in the month of Ramadan. This is the first thing. وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ. So now you have completed the count. What should be the next thing? Once you complete the count, وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ. Now you should declare the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ, based on how He guided you. Very interesting thing. Literally, it's been interpreted as, when you go for Eid prayers, you are going for Eid prayers towards the masjid on the Eid day, and you say Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Walillahi alhamd. You are saying these takbirat. So you're declaring the greatness of Allah. That's what we call tukabbirullah, declaring the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what is awesome about this ayah, what is so amazing about this ayah, and this part of this ayah, is that it is not only limited to our act of Eid, when we go and excel and we do a lot of takbirat and we declare the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In this ayah, when Allah says, وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا, you should declare the greatness of Allah. What it means actually is that we should maintain the recognition of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after the month of Ramadan. When we complete our count, now we should maintain our recognition that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the priority. Allah is a bigger priority than all of my desires, all of my whims, all of my disobedience, and all of my sins that I used to up to before the month of Ramadan. Now Allah is my priority. Everything else, it's gone now. I have completed the count. I have completed 30 days. Now these 30 days should be more than enough for me to develop a habit to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It should be more than enough for me to develop a habit that I am conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the time. I'm watching my eyes, I'm watching my tongue, I'm controlling my body. I'm not eating what I want to eat. I'm not just going wherever I want to go. I'm not just looking at whatever I want to look at. I am controlling myself because I have completed the count, 30 days. And in those 30 days, if I can stay away from halal, see, eating and drinking, in normal days, it's halal, it's permissible. But if I can stay from halal things for 30 days consecutively, after these 30 days, it should be easier for me to just stay away from haram. Just stay away from khaba'is. Before I was staying away from everything, even from halal things. Now after 30 days, I just have to stay away from haram, from khaba'is. It should be easier for me. So Allah literally says, you have completed the count, alhamdulillah. This should be your first focus. Complete the count. After you complete the count, Allah says, now you declare my greatness. The month is over. I have guided you in the month of Ramadan, ala ma hadakum, based on that guidance. I have given you guidance in the month of Ramadan, tukabbirullah. Now you declare my greatness. This is the fruit of Ramadan. That Allah becomes our priority. Let me repeat myself again. One of the purposes of the month of Ramadan, that Allah remains our priority even after the month of Ramadan. In the month of Ramadan, alhamdulillah, Allah is our priority. That's why we are not eating and drinking. Even after the month of Ramadan, Allah remains our priority. I know that you have heard a lot of lectures. Imams are telling you, khatibs, they are telling you that the month of Ramadan is over, but you should not forget about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Keep coming back to the masjid, keep declaring the greatness of Allah. But now Allah is giving you this khutbah. It's not just me and as an imam telling you anything. Allah in this ayah of the month of Ramadan, subhanAllah, it's such a beautiful ayah that it begins with the beginning of the month of Ramadan. Towards the end of the ayah, Allah says how you should conclude your month of Ramadan. It's beautiful. Allah is giving us this khutbah. After the month of Ramadan is over, declare my greatness. You have completed the count, now declare my greatness. Because I have guided you in the month of Ramadan. If I haven't given you any kind of guidance, then obviously you have no reason to declare my greatness. But I have guided you in the month of Ramadan, now you should declare my greatness. And then Allah finally says, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, so that you can become grateful. That alhamdulillah, Allah has given you the opportunity, Allah has given you the month of Ramadan. In the month of Ramadan, you learn how to make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala your priority. Allah becomes your priority, your bigger priority than all of your whims and desires. Allah has given you this opportunity, Allah has given you this month of Ramadan, now you should become grateful to Allah. So much of humanity, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not give them this honor. But you have this honor, Allah has given you this honor. Now declare Allah's greatness. You should be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One last example about the same thing, how we should declare Allah's greatness, and then I will finish. It's a practical example. Hopefully we all will benefit from that. MashaAllah, you brothers who are sitting here, you are always here in this masjid, and you always come and sit in the gatherings, and you always make time. This example that I am giving is to motivate you further. See, there are times when I can tell things to everyone, to any audience, but you are my special audience, you are my special congregation. You are the people who know me very well, and I know you very well, alhamdulillah. So this thing that I'm going to mention now, it's for all of you brothers who are sitting here, especially for all of you. You can go and share it to anyone you want to, but especially from me, it's for all of you. When Allah says, وَلِتُكَبِّرُ اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ, now you should declare my greatness. What does it mean? Let me give you a practical example. I have already explained what it means, but let me make it more easier for you. I'm an employee, and I got a job. And in my job, my responsibility is just to do two things. I need to answer the phone calls, and I need to answer the emails. This is my responsibility. I have a job, and my job is to answer the phone and answer the emails. Okay? Now I say to myself that, I should do the photocopies as well. I should help someone out at the front desk as well. I should do this and I should do that. Instead of doing my job, I start doing all of this extra kind of stuff. And I forget about my job. And I don't do my job. So my boss comes and he asks me, then Muhammad, what are you doing? Why are you not answering my phone? Why not answering my emails? And I say to my boss, I think this was important. And this was more important. And that was more important. Do you think I will be able to get my job? But I will be able to keep my job? No. Because my priority, I don't decide my priority. I've been hired for a very specific reason. I don't decide my priorities. My priorities are already given to me by whom? By my boss. He will tell me what is important and what is not important. We are approaching the month of Ramadan. We all want to prepare ourselves, right? And we're talking about declaring Allah's greater, meaning that declaring that Allah is the priority and whatever Allah tells us we will do. What happens in the month of Ramadan is that we make a list of our own priorities, which is a good list. So you make a list that I will recite Quran, and I will recite Quran with proper tajweed, And then I will understand the translation of the Quran, and I will read the translation of the Quran, and I will understand the tafseer of the Quran, and I will come and sit into every reminder, and I will read the Tarawih prayers, and I will do the Qiyamul Layl and everything. So we make our list of priority. But don't you think that list should come from Allah? What should we do? What should be our first goal in the month of Ramadan? What should be our fundamental goal in the month of Ramadan? This list should come. It makes sense. It should come from Allah. Our fundamental goal, our first and foremost goal in the month of Ramadan is 2 prayers in the masjid with Jama'at. If we cannot do anything, that should be our first goal. 2 prayers in the mosque with Jama'at. Fajr and Isha. That's it. I don't care if you're praying 8 rakat Tarawih prayers or 20 rakat Tarawih prayers. That's your masla. I don't care about it. Well, we all should make a point that in this month of Ramadan, we're going to make this month of Ramadan count. And we're going to read Fajr and Isha in the masjid with Jama'ah. That should be our first goal. If we are leading that goal, then inshallah we can add other things. But we are talking about declaring the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by making Allah priority. So Allah will set the list of priorities for us. These are the 2 fundamental prayers that should be in the mosque with Jama'ah. So all of you people who are sitting here, alhamdulillah, I know you people, you love mosque. And you keep coming to the masjid. You must come to the mosque very, very frequently. This Ramadan, make it a goal, make it a point. That myself and all of the kids that you have in your house, if they are 12 or over 12, bring them to the masjid. It doesn't have to be Iqra. Take them to any masjid you want to. Any masjid. Make this a goal. Why? Because Prophet ﷺ said, you read your Isha Salah and Fajr Salah in the masjid with Jama'ah and you get the reward of the entire night. So why would you want to miss out that opportunity of being counted, praying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the entire night in the month of Ramadan? In the month of Ramadan. And remember that in the month of Ramadan, one of these nights is Laylatul Qadr. So even if you don't catch Laylatul Qadr, you will be able to catch it by the virtues of the word of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because you are praying for the Isha in the mosque. So you will get the reward of the entire night and you will be able to catch Laylatul Qadr inshallah. And this we start from right now. Don't say, okay, the 1st of Ramadan. By then I will be able to finish season 5 or something. Start it from right now. You have time, alhamdulillah. Make this a habit right now, so that in the month of Ramadan you can continue that habit. You can remain steadfast on that habit. This is the month of Ramadan. Inshallah, hopefully we all will reach the month of Ramadan. And this is going to be a special month. So let's put ourselves to work. Let's change ourselves. Let's make this month a really special month, and the least thing we all can do is to start coming to the masjid in Fajr and Isha and pray our Salah with Jama'ah. And by the way, alhamdulillah, we have heard the reminder, and Allah does not like the people who hear the reminders and then they ignore them. Allah doesn't like them. Sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes them in a very, very harsh language. So Allah says, وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ ذُكِّرَ بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِ فَأَعْرَضَ عَنْهَا وَنَسِيَ مَا قَدَّمَتْ يَدَهُ. Who can be more zalim? Who can be more wrongdoer? Worse wrongdoer? Who can be more wrong than a person that the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are being recited in front of him? فَأَعْرَضَ عَنْهَا. He turned away from them. وَنَسِيَ مَا قَدَّمَتْ يَدَهُ. And he forgets everything that is in front of him. So this opportunity, we have it in front of him. We are not supposed to be irresponsible after listening to the reminders, because Allah doesn't like it. So bring this into your life. Make it a habit from now on. It's easy for me to say it because I live next door. But wallahi, if Allah does not give you a tawfiq, still you won't be able to come for Fajr namaz. So right now, we should make a dua to Allah, and we should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the ability and tawfiq. And then we should start coming to the masjid, reading our Fajr and Isha Salah in the masjid with Jama'ah. So are we ready for this now, inshallah? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those who are grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those who truly declare the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in everything that they do. And we truly humble and lower ourselves before the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala our priority, not only in the month of Ramadan, but inshallah after the month of Ramadan as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us understanding. May Allah keep us united in this dunya. May Allah reunite us in the afterlife.